You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Oh boy, Black and White sports fans. Everybody is weighing in on Scottie Pippen's comments about his former head coach, Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson, probably the greatest NBA coach of all time. He's right up there at the top. Scottie Pippen has been putting everybody on blast, but it was his comments about Phil Jackson that now has the sports world really weighing in. The NBA world, everybody's weighing in. Shaq has talked about it. Reggie Miller's talked about it. And now, folks, we have Robert Horry. Robert Horry played for Phil Jackson on the Lakers, won 3 championships there. And to me, Robert Horry will always be a Houston Rocket, one of the most clutch players in NBA history. There's no doubt about it. Robert Horry had some very interesting comments about encounters with Phil Jackson in the huddle. Now, I don't know if Scottie Pippen actually had similar things happen in the huddle like we're going to be talking about here. But what Robert Horry said was pretty interesting, and it's a possibility that Phil Jackson probably said similar things in the Bulls huddle that probably triggered Scottie Pippen. And we know that Phil Jackson is he's all into Eastern philosophy, the whole Zen thing. He's known as the Zen master. And we're going to be getting into that master part here very shortly. And I'm thinking now, Robert Horry probably gave a little bit more insight into what Scottie Pippen was thinking. Okay. And Robert Horry said he actually had to check Phil Jackson in the huddle. So we're going to be diving into all of that, folks, in this video, guys. First, we're running our end of month sale, our flash sale. This is the last day to get 23% off any merch in the merch store. Use the discount code GwenSucks and the number 1. 23% off our biggest discount we've ever given on any of our merch. And the media is the real virus. That shirt is selling like crazy right now, folks. So check it out. Let's get into this, guys. Robert Horry claims Phil made master comment, but he's not racist. This is interesting here. This is very interesting if you ask me, folks. So it says here on TMZ, 7-time NBA champ Robert Horry is defending Phil Jackson. Says he does not believe the man is racist, but admits there were times he had to check the legendary coach for comments made towards his players. Horry is responding to bombshell allegations Scottie Pippen made earlier this week when a Hall of Famer told the Dan Patrick Show he believed Jackson was racist. Now, nobody agrees with Scottie Pippen about Phil Jackson being racist. Neither does Robert Horry. But Robert Horry did say, yeah, I had to check Phil a few times, even though he doesn't believe he's racist. This is what he said here. Bit Shop Bob, who played for Jackson on the Lakers from 1999 to 2003, shared his personal experiences with the coach on his podcast this week, saying straight up, I don't think Phil is racist. Horry explains there were times he had to call out Jackson over his choice of words, but he did not believe the coach had racist intent. Quote, we were in the huddle and Phil was like, you need to know the sound of your master's voice. Horry said on the Bit Shop Rob Pod on Podcast 1. I looked at him. I was like, whoa, nah, we don't do that. I'm from the South. Horry said Jackson was quick to backtrack, claiming he didn't mean it in the way it came out. I said, dude, that's too close. And I knew where he was coming from across as saying, because in the arenas, you need to understand and hear your person that is trying to lead you. Of course, Phil being the head coach. And you know what? Maybe Phil was just getting into this whole Zen master thing. Okay. But I'll get more into that in a minute. Worth noting, Phil has been dubbed Zen Master due to his coaching techniques. But given Horry's description of the exchange, that wasn't really what he was going for either. Horry continued, "Understand," I said, "but there's certain words you can use," and I'm like, "We ain't that close yet." Regardless, Horry says he does not agree with Pippen's take. I don't think Phil is racist at all. I don't. So, I don't believe Phil Jackson is racist either. But Phil Jackson is definitely into Eastern philosophy. He is. When you're talking about Eastern philosophy, folks, I mean, you're talking about like the philosophy of the martial arts, the Buddhism, the Zen, all of that. And if you look at Kung Fu, watch Bruce Lee movies. I love Bruce Lee movies, folks. Jackie Chan movies. I watch them in Cantonese because my wife speaks Cantonese, so I have to watch the movies in Cantonese. However, in every single Bruce Lee movie, Bruce Lee calls somebody Sifu. Or even if you're watching Ip Man with Donnie Yen, he's known as Ip Sifu. And Sifu means master in Cantonese. Or teacher, but mainly master. So, and everybody calls him that. So I believe that's what Phil Jackson was saying, master, in that kind of a way. And it's never been a problem for people in Eastern cultures to refer to their teachers as their masters. And I believe that's what it was. Now, Scottie Pippen probably couldn't relate to that. And he got triggered. But also, we all know Scottie is trying to sell a book. He's trying to sell a book, stir up controversy, and it's the talk of the town. So his Unguarded book is probably going to sell a lot of copies because Robert Horry is throwing everybody under the bus. He's throwing the GOAT Michael Jordan under the bus. He's throwing his own coach under the bus. He's trashing NBA players. I mean, he is just on a rampage right now, folks. He just is. But Robert Horry, he wasn't offended by what Phil Jackson said. And he doesn't even believe that Phil Jackson is racist. He doesn't. But I do believe, maybe some of the players, a lot of the players, they aren't into that Eastern philosophy like Phil Jackson is. He has this whole Zen thing going on, which I don't think many people or many players in the NBA can relate to. They probably don't really practice it, even though Phil brings in that kind of element to the team when he was coaching. He just did. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this, Black and White sports fans? Bit shot Robert Horry had to check Phil Jackson for the type of words he actually used in the huddle. Do you think that Phil was actually being racist? Do you think that Phil had any racist intent? I still do not. I think Scottie Pippen is just being a complete and utter fool. But he's going to make a lot of money because he's going to sell a lot of books. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.